Breaking news today: it's possible that a Russian journalist who went on air to protest Putin's war was poisoned. Possible poisoning in France of a Russian state TV journalist who publicly criticized Vladimir Putin's attack on Ukraine. The Paris prosecutor's office stated on Thursday that Marina Ovsyannikova suspected she had been poisoned as she left her Paris apartment and called emergency services before being admitted to a hospital. The prosecutor's office also noted that police were inspecting her apartment and conducting an investigation. In March 2022, Russian state television employee Ms. Ovsyannikova made headlines around the world when she appeared behind the evening news anchor while holding a sign that read, "Stop the war, don't believe the propaganda, they are lying to you here." Ms. Ovsyannikova was assisted by the media watchdog Reporters Without Borders as she fled Russia and settled in France. The organization has claimed to be at her side ever since she sought medical attention. There was a lack of information among the group. Ms. Ovsyannikova was fined 30,000 rubles, $270 at the time, for insulting the Russian armed forces. After being arrested for protesting near the Kremlin in July 2022, she and her daughter eventually made their way to France. This month, a Moscow court handed her an 8.5-year prison sentence for slander against the Russian armed forces. Russia's crackdown on dissent has only gotten worse since its invasion of Ukraine nearly 20 months ago, and this was just the latest example. The severity of the crackdown is unprecedented in Russia after the fall of the Soviet Union. Welcome to the White House, everyone. We are delighted to have Ambassador Zappia with us tonight. We appreciate Italy's continued international cooperation and its stand with Ukraine in the face of Putin's aggression. Every household has its own mythology, a collection of stories told over and over again to shed light on the influences and ideals that have shaped its members. My paternal grandparents Gaetano and Concetta Giacoppa changed their names upon arriving in the United States, taking on the surnames Jacobs. They uprooted their entire lives in pursuit of America's boundless opportunity. It wasn't always simple, but they believed that with hard work, they could make a good life for themselves in the United States. Their names may have changed, but the loyalty and generosity they brought with them across the Atlantic never did. Faith and generosity. Those are the principles I've brought to the Oval Office. It's a privilege to be the First Lady of Italian-American descent. On the weekends, my family and I would travel to Hamilton, New Jersey, to visit my father's relatives. My grandfather would come home from fishing trips on the weekend and leave the rockfish on the counters and back porch, while my grandmother would sing an Italian curse at him while the sauce bubbled away on the stove. A worn couch with all the right cushions. My grandma's warm embraces, those brief moments when the world seemed to be just right. Maybe that's how some of your upbringings were too. At home with my loved ones, surrounded by laughter and joy. It's possible that yours was the house that everyone looked forward to visiting the most. I hope to share some of that emotion with you tonight. Because you should have nothing but the best that our grandmothers can make. However, our history consists of more than just hospitality and cuisine, right? The Sicilians were the ones who were freed from their cells and murdered by a mob in New Orleans. Italians are discouraged from applying. People like my dad, who are Italian, were never fully accepted by my mother's side of the family. This is the story of our nation's leaders, the people who drafted our laws and composed our poetry. Of men and women who showed bravery in the face of great danger. Of parents who sacrificed and toiled to provide a better life for their kids, thereby contributing to the growth of the American middle class. Speaker Pelosi is popular among kids. For your entire professional life, Nancy has exemplified the ideals we inherited from our forebears. You fight for our future every day, making America better with each new law and each new landmark achievement. We appreciate your participation. All of the elected officials, members of Congress, and community leaders who are here today to tirelessly represent this area and their constituents are living examples of these ideals in action. We appreciate your being here. My husband, Vice President Biden, is working to build on the successes of this area and to aid all communities in their pursuit of the bright future their forefathers yearned for. So that families like mine, and maybe yours when you were growing up, can make a decent living, he is expanding our economy from the middle out and the bottom up. Because it's only fair to give everyone a shot. The tenacity of our ancestors did not wane when they arrived in the United States. When history rewrote their names, it was not the end of the story. When they finally arrived at a country that wasn't quite as thrilled to see them as they were to see it, that wasn't the end of the story. All of us carry its spirit with us. So, as you make your way through these rooms this evening, I pray that you feel the comfort of home, the strength of your ancestors' legacies, the joy of being with loved ones, the satisfaction of a satisfying meal, and the sweetness of a final treat. It is my great pleasure to present Cecilia Sordoni. That was so lovely. We appreciate it, Cecilia. This is your home as well, so help yourself to some snacks and drinks and relax a bit. Let us raise a glass to the ongoing effort to mold the land we call home, a place where we can realize the dreams of our forefathers, instill those ideals in our children, and add our own brilliant, colorful strands to the tapestry of American history.